Hello everyone, Gerone Wright here again. And what you're looking at is the Kiss of Judas by um, Giotto. Um, Giotto, and this is a fresco painting in the Scrovegni Chapel. That's how you say that, Scrovegni Chapel, Scroveghi Chapel. Okay, and as I told you, every time I pull up a painting, based on my other videos, if you haven't seen them, you must see them. I think it's like my 84th or 85th video here that I'm releasing, referencing my findings with these Renaissance artist paintings that reference how mankind was created, and genetic bridging with animals and the altering of mankind's genetics, which actually stem back through to the beginning of time with our ancient ancestors dealing with apes, um, black man, um, and 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 just it's just so much to comprehend. I mean, it's but nevertheless, I've discovered it and I'm bringing it to you in videos. Okay, and I'm hoping that my videos take off and go viral. So therefore, I ask for your help to share my videos with friends and family and whoever that you might think that these videos might make a difference with. But people, I have no end, and I know that I'm touching on a sensitive issue with dealing with a lot of this stuff with Christianity and all of that. But I mean, but if it's all a lie, then I mean, then you should have no problem. And this is all that I am actually I'm demonstrating and proving, that it's all a lie, and these artists reference it in their artworks, and now you can make sense of these historical biblical moments in time that you couldn't otherwise actually had until now. I'm showing you, and these illustrations in these paintings, these underlying encryptions, are showing us the truth, and I just want to bring these truths to you. And fortunately enough that what I'm showing you here, you can Google the images for yourself and you can verify everything that I'm needing without us having to have a verification through scholars or scientific experts and all of that. I mean, we were gifted with the common sense of vision and understanding. So therefore, all you basically have to do is take what I am showing you, which is actually there, and say, hey, you know what I mean? This guy, I mean, we're dealing with times that are in the 13th century, um, and even earlier, and this guy is explaining things that absolutely should not be there. I mean, even just in the sense of just these apes that are appearing in these encryptions. I mean, these apes should not be in there because we are, I mean, it was not supposed to be known genetically where we came from. So therefore, how am I able to show you these apes and all of these encryptions that I'm doing, underlining encryptions that I'm doing, and not just that, the fact that I know where these creatures come from, how they evolved, the ape evolved, because these images are showing that. Well, besides the fact that I had a true paranormal experience and encounter, which actually lends to me being able to understand and see through these encryptions that are actually here. Okay, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you a few things that first of all, I'm going to show you that there is apes up in here, and then I'm going to show you some of these genetic bridgings. It's my factual findings that wherever you find these beings on both sides, humans on both sides and Jesus in the middle, it shows a genetic bridging where there's a bridging taking place from one side to the next. And I just want to show you some things right here. These soldiers, their black helmets represents that of black genetics. And how do I know that? Because the ape is present. You can barely see this ape, but I have it highlighted. And there's an ape there. Okay, and you can see his face. I'm just going to vaguely line it there, and you should be able to see. Yeah, you can actually see it right there. And I already outlined it with the pencil, but the face of the ape is actually shown there. And wherever these references are being made at of genetic manipulation, and there's the nostrils there, And you can even see the defining features of the ape. How you know how the ape has that the hairiness around his face, and then around his head, a cranial, and then it shows the outline of his face. I mean, it's right there, you know, and it's just amazing because they have to show this. I mean, this is what lends to my factual findings, is that these apes and these genetic bridging, it shows you how the other likenesses of man was created. Now, Jesus is associated with the serpent, as I showed you before in the Nervy Hall, my Nervy Hall findings and all. Let me back this off a little bit. And I'm going to bring you a serpent into play here, which represents the reptilian interventions and manipulations of our bloodlines. Here's the reptilian right here. The serpent, the snake. And it even puts the cross lines and everything else in there, people, to show you that that this serpent present. I just went over a line there. And I mean, it puts the crosshairs, and this is the reason why people, that all of these presences are shown in these pictures doesn't make no sense until you see that serpent right there. All right, that represents the reptilian. Okay, now there's some other things here. I'm going to go over here. Let's go over here to Jude. Well, first of all. Well, yeah, let me go to Judas, because in the hair of Judas, I'm going to see if you can see. Let me bring this back up again, to zoom in, and I want you to see that in the hair of Judas, I'm going around the lip portion, the top lip portion of a lion. There's a lion's nostrils, and then there's a lion's eye there, and an eye there. And what it is showing, that from the lion's mouth, I don't know if you can see that or not, but you'll be able to Google the image. I don't know, because I'm looking backwards. I mean, I can see it clearly here. I don't know if you can see it. But from the lion's mouth, it shows genetics dripping down from the lion's open mouth. And then you have the witch-like woman, which is I dub as the mother of creation. Her likeness right there, where it would be at this abnormal looking ear of Judas. Right there, and it shows her witch-like face, and it tells me which genetics are being bridged and being communicated here. Well, bridged and manipulated here between Jesus and all the figures that are and Judas and all of the figures that are actually being shown here. Now, this guy here, look at how they're close together. We know that genetics and transferring of genetics, we know that hair represents genetic, we know that semen represents genetics, and these Renaissance artists, this is how they use and show the transferring of these genetics. And this is why you have this guy's mouth at this guy's beard, showing you that there's a genetic bridging there, and then this guy's mouth at the back of Judas's hair, showing you these genetic exchanges. And then in the same thing here with these guys with the beards. But not just that, it's also this here, this genetic bridging with this guy here, showing you that here in this rollover, almost like curly portion of Judas' hair here, it shows you like a creature, like a wormy-like creature, and it has the mother of creation on this side. The witch-like woman is here. Okay, we're at the mouth of the lion, showing you that that's in the mouth, showing you that there's a genetic exchange taken in, and this is how they actually showed it. Okay, now back here at this guy's mouth, right behind Judas, is another image of the mother of creation, a witch-like woman, a very, very small image of her. But now that I've shown you that it's there, if you Google the image, you will be able to look it up, and you'll actually see that there's a face of a woman there. And what this represents is the head of a two-headed serpent, and it's showing you these bridgings between Judas and what is behind him, which is those soldiers, and that of Jesus, and then coming from Jesus' side. And look what it should be. I mean, look at this, people. This is unique, but it gets better than that. Let me take you right into to Jesus here first, if I can actually see this. In their hair, the Renaissance artists have adopted this encryption style, where in their hair they show these creatures. Now, here in Jesus' hair, I'm going to try to draw this. I can barely see. There's one creature there. Is that the nostril or the eyes? Alright, there's one creature there in the hair of Jesus. And then it shows you, here's another creature over here. Alright, there's the nostrils right there. And it comes around, there's the eyes, and it shows you that the hair is blown in with Jesus' hair. And you have two creatures showing you two genetic strands that are actually now being bridged through Jesus and taken off to this side. Okay, which I know more about it and how it goes, but I'm going to go right into detail because I got more images that I want to pull up referencing this. And now, here in Jesus' beard, there's an ape right there. Okay, the likenesses of the ape, which represents that of our black ancestors and our ape ancestors right there. Okay, then you have in the redness over here. Now, can I get this without? I'm at the chin of the mother of creation right there. Her lips is here. Okay, here's her nose. Now check this out, people. Her horn, she has a horn, and it comes off her head, and it actually creates the top lip of Jesus and her horn, and it even has the lines and all, people. And Leonardo da Vinci, if you see my other videos here, Leonardo da Vinci has done something similar, but he put that image in the face, on the whole half of the face of Jesus, and the thorns that create Jesus's the wreath that creates Jesus' thorn is actually this creature's horn. And Leonardo da Vinci did a similar encryption style. And people, I mean, I don't care who the artist is, and these encryption styles are all unique in themselves, but they are all present because these creatures are our ancestors, which led to these historical moments in times of these genetic bridgings, and this is why they are all present. I don't care who the artist is, the encryptions are always there, because if the artist is famous for that making that historical painting of that historical moment, then the same creatures are present that calls for our existence and our genetic becoming and our gene alterings. Okay, so now having said that, let's go over to this guy here. Well, there's a bunch of other creatures in there too, but I'm not going to go. Let me put her face back around there. And here's her chin. I'm coming around her chin. So that's the mother of creation. There's the ape there in Jesus' beard. And then there's the mother of creation with her horn creating Jesus' top lip. And I can actually produce that in other images. Now, here, let's go over here to these guys right here. There's one, well, you got Judas, and then you got a soldier there, and it shows you how they are right there in the face. Their beards come together and create, besides that of other things, there's a face in there as well too, but it creates, coming across the top lip of this guy here through the mouth crest, and this guy here, and it cleverly creates an encrypted penis, letting you know that these genetics were interchanged, and it shows you through the uses of semen. Okay, and that's what the use of. That's why these penises are there, and in the penis there's actually another face, letting you know which genetics are being transferred back and forth between Jesus and Judas there, and this genetic manipulation and bridging cult-like ritual that actually exchanged these genetics. Okay, I'm gonna bring up another image. I'm gonna let this one go, and also though, if you were to take the image, I just dropped the thumbnail, and turn it around like so, you can also realize that there are these creatures, these mutations, going both ways in the head of Judas there. And then there's also showing you, coming off that one creature's head, there's another penis that is right there. and it represents, this is how it shows the presence of our black ancestor genetics and ape genetics without actually having our likenesses. Well, I say our likenesses because I am black, but it shows these genetics which are being altered without having them there. Okay, but you can see that there are creatures that are actually present and are mutations that are actually present. I can draw one right here for you. And Judas's head there, and as they show like half faces, and it shows you their presence and their existence, and the faces are morphing from one end to the other, and showing you that these genetic ancestors are how they morphed, almost like in a bloodstream. That's what this is all about, showing you how these presences are morphing from one state to the next, and you can see that pretty good there. Now I'm going to take and I'm going to go into another image. Okay. Did I get everything on there? Here's another image of the this is unknown of the artist, and this is another kiss between Judas and Jesus there, and it's unknown artist and all, but you can look and see that it's an earlier on image, you know. Okay, but I'm gonna post that up, and let me show you something here. Now, you really can't see much of anything here, but you can see that there's it looks a little strange here towards Judas' eyes and Judas's mouth, and Jesus for the most part looks familiar. I mean, looks okay and normal. However, what is shown here is that you have to look for, because since I know what it is and what it represents and what these things represent, these little areas here that look abnormal, there and there, you can actually see faces. Now I'm going to show you. Now this can be challenged, so I'm just going to, there's my witch-like woman who is I dub as the mother of creation, and she is shown there with a penis on her head right there. Yeah, people, a penis right there. Then back here you see another individual right in there in this image, and it creates the face. Okay, right there, you see right there that I just drew that off to the side, or can you see that? Let me back off a little. Yeah, okay. Right here in the shadows here, and these faces show the genetics. So what happened between Judas and Jesus? Well, they exchanged genetics. And how did they exchange genetics? Judas's lip is the encryption style that is being used by this artist in this. I'm doing around the helmet of the penis right there, which is depicted in the lip of Judas. Okay, and that's where this is at, and it's actually a double-headed penis, which I have shown you, and it tells us that these genetics were genetically bridged. Judas gave Jesus genetics, and Jesus gave Judas genetics. That's what that's all about. And you probably say, wow, Jerome, that's actually deep. You know what I mean? Okay, so if you don't want to believe that, let's take another artist, and this artist I actually have the name of. His name is Thomas Coulter, and he made his image, The Kiss of Judas, I think in the 1800s, and this man lived from 1815 to 1879. So I don't actually have a date on this Kiss of Judas image that he made. However, I do have his encryption style, which I've decoded, and I want to show you. What he has done. Let's take him over there. Alright, let's show you what he has done with Jesus. And you can see the mutations in the... Look at how unordinary these images look, people. Look at this. I mean, what in the crazy mess is going on with this? Now, I'm telling you that there were, back then, they didn't have needles and medical equipment to actually do these blood transfusions and semen transfusions. I mean, you know what I mean, and put these genetics in you intravenously. So what did they do? They did it orally. They did it by any means necessary to have these genetics transferred. When you see the Vatican offering up today, here they're saying the blood of Jesus. You see them drinking this stuff. You know what I mean? Which is supposed to be wine. Now this is telling you they're drinking that, and then they said the body of Jesus, which I'm telling you, which is the semen, and they're putting that in their mouth, orally taking this. And this is what this is all about. And this is why you can hear me with all confidence and certainty say that there were homosexual acts performed, lesbianism acts performed, um, messing with children, the bridging of genetics between children and animals. And this is what this is all about, people, that they engage in these acts to further, by any means necessary, to be sure that these genetics took off in the body that they were bridging. Okay? And I also know more than what I'm saying about this, of course, but because I know exactly how that was done. Pretty much there were time scales and all of this stuff. I mean, it just goes on and on and on, and there's no end to this madness, which is actually happened. So I want to show you something. First of all, you can see that there's always something that looks abnormal in the beards area. And look, I mean, pretty much you see these little monkey-like looking faces, and I mean that there right there can be challenged. So I wouldn't actually use that. I would skip over that. I would use something that is more definitive and more defining. Okay. Now there's always the presence of the ape, and there's always the presence of the woman. First of all, I can see here the witch-like woman right here, and she's like almost like this Madonna-like individual here. I can see her here wearing. I'm gonna draw her in more definitive than what she actually is there, but I can see her right there in the side of Judas, and she's almost like wearing the collar of his clothing there as her veil and covering over her head. And then you can see I have it set up where her horn is coming around right there and sticking Judas's in the neck there. Can you see that? Okay, but that's not nothing. I'm going to show you something that sticks right out in your face. Okay, and this is going to close this deal out of who we're dealing with and who Judas is and who what's going on. Judas is carrying the strong bloodline, the originating bloodline of that of black man. Okay, how do I know that? Because look at Judas's forehead. In Judas's forehead, there is the forehead of a monkey, right there, and the face of a monkey, drawn and shown. Look at this, people. There is a ape, right there. I'm coming around the lip of Judas's, the mouth there of the ape, and look at the wrinkles. There's the ape's nostril right there. Kind of bring that in, and it shows you, people, on his nose is all up in there. See the ape? Here's the ape's eye socket right there. I might try to get the ape a little eye there. And look at how definitive this becomes. Can you see that ape there and down in the side, now that I'm highlighting it for you? And this is what this is all about, people. Genetic bridging. That's what the cross represents. That's what Christianity represents. It's all about genetic bridging of the genes of mankind. And there are artists that actually know that. It shows you these genetics going off in both ways. I can show you and I can read what all of this means. And that's why I'm doing this so simple. People, I wasn't in the 18th century when this was actually created. So how can I actually look at this image and know what it means? You know why? Because I have had a true paranormal experience and encounter which bring me there to see all of this. I'm telling you, people, that something is going to give, and something is going to give real soon. Now, which brings me to, I can see images that cannot even be seen. People, this here is stuff is in your face, right there. I can see stuff in the entire image that is not there, almost transparent, people. It's like I am instinctively drawn to it. I am everything that you see here wrapped up into one. You know what I mean? My body is loaded with this stuff. I mean, I know that, I mean, it's hard for people to believe, but I was taken into this stuff and shown what it was before I knew what it was. You know what I mean? And the understanding came there from me allowing myself to be consumed by it all. And now I am everything that you see here, plus I'm connected not only to this, but to bodies of space that are outside of our world. As crazy as it may sound and unreal as it may sound, I mean, that is yet to be seen, but I know what I am, and I know what I can feel, and I know what I've become a part of. So I don't have nothing to prove to anybody. All I have to do is just continue to keep doing what I'm doing and show you what you believe in is not what it is, what it seems to be. Okay? And I think, well, matter of fact, I know I'm doing a damn good job of that because I have so much material to keep on going. Now, I'm going to show you something about this genetic bridging thing. I'm going to go to, because I only got a few minutes left, I'm going to take this down. Okay, this image is by Thomas Coulter, and it's a kiss of Judas. So Thomas Coulter, all you have to do is do Thomas, you know the name Thomas, and his last name is Coutura, and Google the kiss of Jesus, and you can go there and see that, people. What in the world is an 18th century artist doing, knowing that we're we're connected ancestral. I mean, in an ancestral sense to an ape. Having that knowledge, what kind of power do you think that represented back then, people? Truly amazing. Truly amazing. What do you think it represents now? And then I have more knowledge than what that is actually representing. Possibly more than that of what the Vatican is actually concealing from you. And other ancient civilizations that have an idea of this. Okay, I'm going to move on. I'm going to show you something right quick. This is an image of the Last Supper. I'm going to go into this right quick. And where we at here, because this is where I'm going to go right there. How many minutes do I have? Okay, I'm going to have to hurry because I only have like 3 minutes, I would imagine. This image of the Last Supper by Leonardo da Vinci, it shows that famous knife stabbing in the back, supposedly of Judas. First of all, there's a head of an ape that is actually created, and I know what this means right there. I have other things drawn there, but there's a head of an ape that is actually, oh gosh, too much, that is actually encrypted right here, and it shows that that knife is actually going into the mouth of this ape, and it shows that genetic splicing. So Judas is not being, as reported there, being stabbed in the back. It shows that Judas is being genetically spliced. And the reason why I bring that image up is because the same thing is being said in this image in the Kiss of Judas in that fresco painting by Giotto. The same exact thing here is being shown as in the bottom. I'm going to try to stick this up in there right quick. I'm going to have to let this video go in 1 minute. Let me see. Finally got it. Okay. The same thing. You see the knife there? It looks like this guy's ear is being cut off. When the symbolization of the knife is coming up, it shows genetic splicing. This here is also in the Peruvial burial stones. It's in the Egyptian encryptions. It shows the knife where it looks like there is one being, some person is being stabbed. It shows that this represents genetic splicing. A slice of that person's genetics is being bridged. And that's why you see these individuals with their back turned. It shows that they're bridgers. Okay? And these bridgings, it shows you where these genetics take off to. Okay? And that's what's actually being implied here. And that's why you see all these strange hand posturings, okay, across the Last Supper table with Jesus, and actually I showed you a lot of these these reptilian creatures up in the air, at Judas's sleeve, dinosaurs and things all in this picture, all the way across the table. The whale right here, Simon, encloaked in his clothing over here. Oh, I can't even. Oh, let me back up. Then I got Simon in there. The whale over here encrypted in well, don't have. Oh gosh. Come on down. Well, Simon over there at the end of the table is wearing a cloaked. There you go. His wardrobe is cloaked with that of whale skin. I mean, their clothing represents that of animals and the creatures that they were genetically bridged with. And that's what the Last Supper is about. Okay? This is saying the same exact thing. Okay, and that's why you see these people in these strange posturing positions where they're showing that they're bridged over. Even here, if you look down below, you'll see the creatures. You'll see the ape down here at the bottom, the shadow figures of apes. Okay, showing you these paths of the genetic. Here is a darker figure of that of the ape in its original state, which I actually know what it is and where it came from. I mean, people. The gig is up. You know what I mean? It's time for things to be seen for what they truly are. I'm gonna get going. This is my Geroneification channel. All right. I'll see you on my next video.